Welcome to the tutorial on Principles of Combinational Logic. Before we begin, we need to understand the definition of combinational logic. Combinational logic deals with the technique of combining the basic gates into circuits that perform some desired functions. Example: adders, subtractors, decoders, encoders, multipliers, dividers, display drives, and keyboard encoders. The logic circuits without feedback from the output to the input constructed from a functionally complete gate set are said to be combinational. The logic circuits that contain no memory are called combinational. Here is an example of the block diagram wherein a combinational logic can be modeled as shown in the figure. So let us consider the relationship between the output and the input, which is given by y is equal to f of x, where x will be the set of all input variables ranging from x0, x1 till xn, and y will be the set of all output variables ranging from y0, y1 till ym. The combinational function f operates on the input variable set x in order to produce the output variable set y. Coming to the problem statements to the truth table. Before any combinational logic system can be designed, it must be defined. The block diagram illustrates the sequence of the design task in a general way. So firstly, the proper statement of a problem is the most important part of any digital design task. The problem is then rewritten in the form of a truth table. From the truth table, the switching equations can be written and simplified, and the logic diagram can be drawn. Here we present few examples that are given in order to develop a sense of constructing a truth table from the verbal problem statements. In the first example, we consider a conveyor system which is powered by an electric motor in order to move a material when the motor is turned on. So as you can observe in the figure, we have two operators. We have the material, we have the motor, we have the switch or the light source which has to be turned on for the system to operate. So in this particular slide, I am going to define or identify the input and the output variables and assign names to them. So the operator 1 is assigned a variable A, operator B is assigned a variable B, the motor operation is represented as M, the presence of the material is represented as small m, and the closing of the switch is represented by S. As we need to express the input and the output variables in terms of binary, so we need to consider the variables either as logic 1 or logic 0. So here I am going to consider A to be the operator 1, B the operator 2, M the material is present, S the switch is closed, and M, capital M, the motor is on. Now all of these correspond to a binary 1. That means if the operator 1, operator 2, material is present, switch is closed, and the motor is on, means it corresponds to binary 1, else it is binary 0. So that is why, since we are having 4 inputs, we need to have 2 to the power 4, that is 16 combinations, and the representation on the truth table, 0 implies corresponding to A that the operator is absent, corresponding to B the operator is present if it is binary 1, and corresponding to small m the material is present if it is binary 1, and corresponding to S, if it's binary 1, it means the switch is closed. Now let us see the condition based on which we obtain the output capital M. So the first condition is the material should be present, that is small m is equal to 1. Secondly, any one operator, either A or B, should be present, or both of them can be present. So that is why A equal to B equal to 1. Thirdly, the switch should be closed, that is small s should be equal to 1. So you can observe that the output capital M is equal to 1 when all the 3 conditions are satisfied, and this can be represented in terms of a Boolean expression as shown. Now coming to the second example of a NASA system, which consists of 3 computers, 2 of which are supposed to be online at any given time. Now, if any one of the computers experiences a problem, it will be taken offline and another computer will be brought online. So there is self-checking diagnosis which will determine each computer's operating status and generate an output in the event of a failure. So let us dot down all the conditions. That is, any 2 computers should be online at any given time. So here online means it is equivalent to binary 1. And secondly, a warning needs to be issued, especially when there is a system failure. So since we have 3 computers, we'll be considering 2 to the power 3, that is 8 combinations of inputs. These 8 combinations for corresponding to 3 computers are represented as C1, C2 and C3. OX corresponds to the combination where any computer is online. That means according to our condition, at least 2 computers are supposed to be online, and this is represented as binary 1, indicated in blue color. WX is the warning, that is the output. W1 will be equal to when one of the computer is online, and W2 is a warning when all the computers are offline. So W1 is represented by orange and W2 is represented by green. In the third example, we make use of a conveyor system which brings raw materials from 3 different sources. The 3 sources will converge into a single output conveyor. Sensors are mounted on each of these different sources, and each source conveyor has a different speed. The output product flow is fixed. So here we denote S to be the sensors, and if the product is present, it will be equal to binary 1. And M corresponds to the conveyor motor, and if it is present, the product flow will be equal to 1. So the conveyor system, as you can see, consists of 3 sensors S3, S2, S1 and 3 motors M1, M2, M3, and the product flow is represented by M4. So the 3 sensors and 3 motors correspond to the inputs, whereas the product flow corresponds to the output. So M4, as you can see, is represented in purple color, which is the output. So when both the sensors and the 3 motors are absent, it will be equal to 0. And for all the other cases, when there is some material present and the sensor is on and the motor is on, you can see that the product flow will continue, which is equal to binary 1. So from these 3 examples, we have understood how to convert a verbal statement into truth table. So the same guidelines have been noted down here. That is, first what we do is we determine the input variable and the output variables that are involved. Second, we assign a mnemonic or a letter or a number symbol to each variable. Third, we determine the size of the truth table, how many input combinations exist, that is 2 to the power x is equal to y. So if you remember, we had different combinations based upon the number of input variables. So where x is the number of input variables and y is the number of combinations that we need to have. Fourth, what we do is we construct a truth table containing all the input variable combinations. And lastly, by careful reading of the problem statement, we determine the combinations of the inputs that cause a given output to be true. So here is a exercise problem which says to design a truth table to indicate a majority of 3 inputs is true. So the 3 inputs are represented as I3, I2, I1. True implies that it is equivalent to binary 1. So majority of the inputs implies that inputs should be 2 or more. So we are going to highlight 2 or more inputs, and corresponding to that, output O1 will be equal to 1 or high. So we can represent the equation for the output in terms of Boolean expression, which is as shown. Now coming to the definitions of switching equations. So the first definition is of a literal, which says a literal is a Boolean variable or its complement. So let me consider x to be a binary variable, then x and x bar will be its literals. You can note that x bar can also be denoted as x dash. The second definition is the product term. A product term is a literal or the logic product of multiple literals. So example, if we have x, y, z to be the binary variables, then the product term could be x, xy, x bar, yz, etc. So if you observe, it could be a single variable or a combination or the multiple of many variables. That can include even complements. The third definition is the sum term, which is a literal or the logical or of multiple literals, which is connected by plus sign. An example of this is, if we consider x, y, z to be the binary variables, then x, comma, x plus y, comma, x plus y bar plus z, etc. is a sum term. Next is sum of products, SOP. A sum of product, SOP, is the logical OR of multiple product terms, and each product term is the AND of the binary literals. So for example, we have xy bar plus x bar plus yz plus xy bar z bar, which is an SOP expression. So SOP means it is the logical OR of multiple product terms. Next is product of sums, that is POS. This is the logical AND of multiple OR terms. So each sum term is the OR of binary literals. As an example, I can say x plus y bar, x bar, y plus z, x plus y bar plus z bar. So it's the logical AND of multiple OR terms. Coming to the definition of minterm. A minterm is a special case product term that contains all the input variables that make up a Boolean expression. So you can see that it is a product term in which all variables appear exactly once, either complemented or uncomplemented. Whereas in the max term, it is a sum term in which all the variables appear exactly once, either complemented or uncomplemented. So minterm is a product term, whereas the max term is a sum term. The last two definitions, that is the canonical sum of products, which is a complete set of minterms that defines which output variable is logic 1. So here each minterm corresponds to the row in the truth table where the output function is 1. Second one is the canonical product of sums. Here it is a complete set of max terms that defines when the output variable is logic 0. So each max term corresponds to the row in the truth table where the output function is 0. So here we present a truth table which shows the complement nature of minterms and max terms. The input variables are represented as A, B, C, and the minterms are represented in terms of the product terms and denoted by a small letter m, whereas the max terms are represented as a sum term and denoted by capital letter M. Now, while we denote the minterms and the max terms, there are certain guidelines to be followed. When we represent the input variable, if it is a binary 0, it has to be complemented when representing minterms, and if it is a binary 1, then it should be complemented when we are referring to max terms. When output variables are represented, if it is a binary 1, then it is a minterm, and if it is a binary 0, it is a max term. The minterms are represented by a lowercase m, and the max terms are denoted by the uppercase M. Also, the number subscript will indicate the decimal value of the minterm. When an output equation is written in minterm or a max term, it will be referred to as the canonical expression.